All right, we are started. We're here with Peter. Um, Peter, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm very enjoying the climate here in my country, Suriname. It's a tropical rain climate, and man, I'm so grateful to be here.
Mhm.
I'm here now for more than 7 years back after living in the Netherlands for 32 years. So I can tell you that contrast will make you appreciate things here.
Yeah, that tropical climate, that sounds really good. I mean,
Yeah.
actually here in the Midwest, we've had a couple nice days, but we only have like 3 or 4 of them a year. So
Okay. Yeah.
we
No,
really
that's
gotta, we really gotta enjoy them when they come.
definitely 3 or 4 a year. No, no, no. That's terrible. But everybody has his own cross. So yeah, regarding health, as I said, it's still an adventure. Sometimes in a negative way, but I don't focus on that. Not at all. I'm focusing on the things that are on their way and the things that are in, let's say, in front of the door. So there's no circumstances now, only focus. So I'm glad, I'm grateful for everything. So it's going good. Yeah.
Very nice.
How
Very
is it
nice.
on your side?
It's going well.
Okay.
I can't complain, although I do, but I have a good life. I have a good life, so.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, fantastic. It looks like the connection is not stable. Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay, because I just got a message, internet connection not stable.
Okay.
But okay, now you're moving again, so no problem. So yeah, well, I was thinking on, I saw part of your last video regarding the developments, the current developments on Earth. Let's put it like that. And I recognize everything. I know what's happening, of course. However, I am, for myself, just my decision. I'm not focusing on the developments that are happening on stage in front of the curtains, so to speak, but more behind the scenes. That's more interesting to me, because that's the real part of development on Earth. And it's just still behind the scenes, but anytime, I don't know when, but anytime it can come before the scenes, and everybody will see it then, and then it will be heavy, because a lot of people who are completely not in the know and are completely normies, let's put it like that, they will be shocked of what they will hear then, what will come out. Wow, that will be terrible. That will be terrible. They will walk on the streets like zombies, completely shocked. And that's, yeah, you better know it now than discover it later, just in a shock,
Yeah, and I think with people like that, it has to happen in steps, and
Yeah,
it's not like you mentioned, but my first purpose in that video is just to get things off my chest. So I
sure.
agree with you that the main things that are happening are behind the scenes, but it's still I'm still here and I still have young children, and still
Yeah,
it still
true,
bothers me, even though I know all of
true,
it is
true.
of God.
Yeah,
But I think to get people to understand that what we're dealing with now is not human. And I think
exactly.
the
Yeah,
behind the scenes demonic activity is starting to, now granted, it's gonna increase exponentially on a level that we can't really imagine, but it's starting to come out. You can see it in what these people are doing. I mean, it's like a war against humanity. It's demonic, and that's kind of behind the scenes. They're not showing you exactly what's going on, but you could see things are starting to come and get more intense with these leaders. I mean, it's like if you have a house of 10 kids and you're trying to feed the 10 kids, and the mom and dad are taking the only food you have and they're just burning it.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And or just shipping it off to another country like we're
Yeah.
doing with our food.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're purposely now blatantly trying to kill us, and
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
satanic. That's I mean,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
beyond human. I look at some of these people, I'm not sure if they're human or not. I'm not, because
Yeah. I understand.
it's so disgusting. And
Yeah.
I think we're getting to the point where this supernatural stuff is starting to manifest itself a little bit.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And this is just the beginning. And the so how I see it is that it is now, let's say I'm calling it obvious. So in terms of, you can see more and more what their agenda is, their plans for humanity, and you can see very clearly where it's going also. So that's obvious. So the evil is also obvious now.
Very.
However, the thing is, how I see it is that with this evil, this obvious evil, humanity is being set up to a certain level of fear, to a certain level of how do you say it, that they are desperate. Desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desperation.
And they don't know what to do anymore. And at that level, when humanity is at that level, more or less, then there's going to be a turnaround. And that turnaround will be positive from a human perspective, and humanity will really sigh in relief. Like, wow, man, this shouldn't have come 1 second later, so to speak. So that's how I think it will go. And then after that turnaround, there will be some very interesting and strange developments on Earth. I will not mention things, but I can mention some things, like, for instance, energies. So we are, our whole life and for centuries already, we are used to the current energies on Earth, the current frequencies, vibrations. We are used to that. So those are more filled with more or less fear. So we don't, for instance, when I look at some of those Facebook little films with the jokes, the pranks, and then you see that young people, middle-aged people, they go about their business, they do their things, talk and stroll on the street. But at the moment that something happens, like somebody who looks like a zombie or a prank of a ghost, then you see that the fear is really there already, because you see how they panic and they run. So you see that there's fear under the skin, so to speak. There is fear. So I think after the turnaround, that fear will subside. And in place of that, there will be energies of peace and security and love even. So those calming energies will come on Earth. So there will be a completely new wind that will blow on Earth. However, that is the whole thing, because that will be, to me, a great part of the deception that will come on Earth. So then this will usher in a new era on Earth, an era of peace, an era of rest, no wars, or likely no wars. So, and then there will be also prosperity. It will be, of course, build up. In an interim period, there will be preparations, and there will come prosperity on Earth. There will not be hunger anymore, or homelessness, or so will not be anymore. So, and then I think, I don't know when, but then a person, a leader, will stand up. First, not very important maybe, or more on a local level, and then he will become more and more important on a global level, and he will be the broker of a very important peace deal in the Middle East with Israel. You know that already, I think.
Yeah. And that peace and prosperity won't last very long.
No, well, it will last maybe 2 years, maybe two and a
Yeah, I
half
mean,
years.
relatively speaking,
Yes.
that's not going to last very long.
So, but the thing is, what is very uh, creepy, that's the right word.
Yeah, you can use that. That works.
Yeah. Okay, that's allowed. That's allowed. So the thing is that what is creepy to me is that humanity will be, they will slide down into egotistical ways of thinking, because they will have all the money they have, you know, so, and it will be quiet on earth. So they will do secretive evil stuff, but secretive. For instance, if someone, because I think that just after the snatching away, then the faith, God will remove the stupor from Israel, and a lot of Jews are coming to believe again in Jesus as a Messiah. So they will talk about that. But then it will not be accepted by the people who are prosperous and who don't want to think about those things. So they will not only reject them, but even persecute them, but more on a individual level still. So I think even in the period of peace, there will be some sort of persecution already. And also, I will not mention that, but there will be lots of visits on earth, if you know what I mean. Others will visit earth, and that will be a very strange phenomenon.
Yeah. And, you know, I just kind of want to back up a bit with some of the things you just said. And that's, you know, kind of why I'm interested in, you know, these plans that they're putting out, like Agenda 2030, which I've read through, and some of the stuff from the World Economic Forum. You know, it seems to align with the prosperity you just described, seems to align with what their vision of the future is. But
I have a different view. It doesn't align because they word it in a certain way. But if you read between the lines, you will see, just like they say, you will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, but what they say with no, you know, you read that there'll be no poor people, there'll be no crime, there'll be no war, there'll be you know, everyone will have sustainable living, you know, they'll all have medicine, they'll all have access to this and that. That to me sounds like a good time, like they're looking to create this good time for everybody that aligns with prosperity. Now I know what their true intentions are is to you know, get rid of a lot of people and then be able to control them, and they frame it in beautiful language, but you know, that obviously their intention is completely different than the prosperous.
And it's also enslavement.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. And since I noticed the last couple of years, especially the last year, that there is a huge awakening going on amongst humanity. So they are more and more aware of the true intentions behind that plan. So that's why I think in my heart, I'm quite sure that this will not go through.
So that's
what I meant.
You're saying that it'll be discarded, like, so like Agenda 2030, people are going to get hip to it, and they're going to say that's going to be the turn when things go good. That's going to be a revelation of evil, and that's going to be discarded for the good.
No, I think it will be earlier, because the awareness of people is already going on, and it's quite growing. So I think when while enough people are aware what's happening, then you will get a turnaround.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah, and I believe that too. I believe that before 2030 comes, that'll happen.
Well,
but
long before, long before.
yeah,
I
but
think this year
I mean,
or
yeah, it could. And
first half next year.
yeah, but my point is, I don't think I worded it correctly, is I don't think they'll get there, but I think the intentions behind getting there, the evil intentions behind getting there is going to be exposed beforehand,
Yes,
before it ever
yes,
actually develops. But you could see
yes.
that plan. And I agree with you. And I know we've talked about this before, that there's no I mean, I don't know how you have to be brain dead and asleep to be deceived right now. I mean, it's so obviously
Yeah,
evil. It's so out in the open. It's so in your face. So I always, where's the deception? It's not there.
yeah, yeah,
So there has to be
exactly.
an exposure,
Yeah,
and which is happening, as you said. And then they'll play the other side of it, where they come in with all the good, and
yeah.
that's the deception. And
Well, I think also the people who are still asleep currently, I think most of them are asleep on purpose. That's I mean they don't want to know because they are afraid of what they will encounter and what they will come to hear. So
well,
the well-known short-term vision, because ignorance is bliss.
yeah,
But the thing is, ignorance is bliss only is valid for short term, because when it's going to come on, when it's going to hit you, the truth, then you will be very shocked. That's the whole thing.
yeah, it shatters, opening up to this truth shatters your whole life perspective. I
Yeah,
mean, people don't want that, you know.
exactly. Exactly. So on purpose, they want to stay asleep and they want to concentrate on the mainstream uh, news, etc. That's what they want.
Clown show.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a dog and pony. It's a movie. It's a stage play. It's a
that is it. Yeah, that's exactly the case. It's a movie, definitely. And I will not mention more, but it's a movie, definitely. We are watching a movie, and there's more people than we think that are not the real people anymore. But I will not mention more than that. So
yeah, yeah. We go down a rabbit hole there.
that's a rabbit hole for
I
sure.
don't
Yeah.
even. Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting. What,
Yeah, definitely. But the
and
thing
that's why
is,
I say I don't know. I don't even know if they're human anymore. I really don't.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. The thing is that yes, that well-known agenda will be discarded way before it is planned. However, then in like with the turnaround, so how do you say that? So in another way, that goal will still be reached, but it will be reached through peace, and then war, the second seal, then famine, the third seal, and then pestilences and death, the fourth seal. And then humanity is in such a position that they will want to have one world government
And
and one world economy and one world religion.
when they come out, when they turn from that deception, they're going to be proud of themselves too, humanity
Yeah,
as a whole. And
yeah, think so. Yeah,
that's gonna unite them.
yeah,
Obviously, you look at this evil that's going on in the world, and you know, if you pick two sides, and that's why the left and the right is just a front for the same organization. They do one thing on the left, and then the right appeals to a different group of people. But in the same way, I believe they're driving the bus to the same destination, so to speak.
exactly. Yes,
And,
yes.
once this evil is exposed, then there's going to be two sides. If you're not with us, then you must support this evil. Well, no,
Yeah,
we don't support the evil, and we don't support your version of the evil either, just because it looks good.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But people aren't people are going to think there's only those two choices. So, which one are you going to choose? Obviously, it's
Yeah,
here on the good side, but really it's going to the exact same place.
yeah. Well, there is a lady, a young lady. I will not mention names, but I will send you the link. Maybe you then can put it underneath your video if you want to. The
Okay.
link, she has a website and a YouTube channel, and also another channel, video platform channel. And she is quite, she has a good insight, in my perspective, of what is really happening. So the powers that be behind the scenes, what is really happening, and she is explaining it very well. So she is she appears to me as a Christian. So she also used biblical verses, etc. So in that sense, I see her as a Christian. So she uses those verses also to warn, to issue warnings. So I understand, I appreciate that. However, I'm afraid that she's also not on a high level. She's also not in the truth yet, I think. But I will send you the link, and then you can see for yourself. You can follow it for yourself. And I still think, yes, just to reiterate, that it will go to a global situation, but through another cut, so another road, another way. So not the well-known way now, but it will turn around. People will be very happy and glad that these guys are out of the way, etc. But then the good guys are now in charge. And what happens is that the good guys, first, they will bring peace. Yes. So people will trust it, because you will see that, wow, it's really what people want. And then from the one moment to the other, there will be, the peace will be removed from the earth. It will be wars, famine, etc. And then people will be at that exact position where they are, as a humanity, ready for a one world global situation.
Yeah, well, it's that once you get people, like you mentioned before, that desperate and that in need by, you know, taking away or them losing everything that they have, food, you know, death, you know, war, you know, all this stuff. You know, you cause the problem. It's the problem, reaction, solution. You cause the problem. You get them desperate so that they have no mechanism to feed themselves and their children. Then you come in with the solution when they're at the point and they see this death and destruction and starvation and all this stuff. It's going to be easy to come in, and they're going to accept anything. But even if they accept it, it's still going to be so good. It's going to be such a contrast. Like they're going to be so desperate, and this new system is going to be so good that, you know, but they caused the problem. They set it up on both sides, and now they'll come in through the back door with a solution that people won't be able to see. That's the deception.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And as far as I can remember, only in those 4 seals in Revelation 6, I think it's going to be 1/4 of the world population will not survive those 4 seals. They will not survive. So we're talking 2 billion, almost 2 billion people. That's huge. So
that's going to create desperation. I mean, you see death all around you. I mean, you'll be looking for anything.
Yes.
To save you.
By the way, it's now raining quite hard. And since the roofs are made of aluminum, it can be quite loud as well. So just for you to know, maybe you hear it. I hear it very loudly, but maybe you didn't hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear it. So we're good.
So I think that's where we are in terms of developments. And to be quite honest, I mean, I am looking at the Word of God and studying out of the Word of God, just to be focused also on the real things that are going to come and those things that will last. So I'm looking just to see what's happening, but that's just that. I'm not focusing on it, not at all.
Yeah, and I just want to pick your brain a bit here. go off and then we'll change topics here. I know we don't want to
All right.
spend all our time on this, but so the snatching away will occur before this time of peace, correct?
I believe that. Yes.
Is
Yes.
it possible? Meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay, I got a message I got to address here in a second.
Okay.
Is it possible that the rapture could, or the snatching away could be a part of the changing event that starts the 7 years? Is it possible that these demonic entities are waiting for that event to put everything into place?
But what
And you're
event are you not talking about?
the snatching away. Do you
Oh,
think
yes.
they know? Do you think they know what's coming and they got everything set up and it's kind of up in the air now because they're not really sure when it's going to happen, but they have everything in place when it does happen to move right in? Do you think that's a
Yes.
possibility?
Yes. I think it is in that sense that they are ready already to come. They are waiting to come already. I've heard it from different angles, especially within the New Age community, that they know that they are waiting, and they are just like everyone is waiting to come on Earth. So as if the Earth, and we know the situation, as if the Earth is something very important, but it is. So there is some things here that God has created in such a way that all their attention is focused on the Earth. Yes. So I think they're waiting, but I don't think they know when something will happen. And I don't think they also know what will be the event, but they will know when the door is open for them to come, and then they will not hesitate. They will come right away. And I think that coincides, it coincides with Revelation 12, verse 3, where it says that the tail of the dragon sweeps a third of the stars of heaven and casts them onto the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that as well. And I just see the events happening. It seems like everything's set up, and it seems like they, create different storylines and they create all like an EMP event or a solar flare or astro and all this kind of stuff, which is to me not going to happen. But they're getting you prepared. So when this event does happen, they'll have every way to explain it and get it under their control. But I think that event is the only thing that's outside of their control right now. And they're kind of waiting for it, seeing, and then they're ready to move in, like you said, once it happens. I personally believe that the snatching away will occur that may cause certain events that they will explain away by saying it was a solar flare or EMP and all this kind of stuff. And then, people will eat it up because that's what we've been force fed our whole entire lives. And, they'll get their mind away from what actually happened. And therefore they can look to whatever deception they're going to bring about.
Well, I think there's two things. I think, first of all, yes, there's something very significant will happen. Probably something in the neighborhood of an EMP, because if you read scripture regarding the end time developments, the whole atmosphere of the way things are described, it looks like there will not be high technology and advanced technology. I'm not sure, but it looks like it will not be there. Maybe in the first phase, in the phase of peace, yes, and maybe later not anymore. I'm not sure. So that I'm not sure about it. But if you look at the end times, for instance, the two witnesses, for instance, even further on the line, further down the line, regarding horses, etc., etc., then I'm thinking, but if there's horses, it can be two reasons. For instance, Gog of Magog, Gog and Magog. Well, Gog and Magog, they are going to strike on the mountains of Israel. That says scripture in Ezekiel 38, 39, more or less. I'm a bit in doubt about that, but okay. And to be able to be flexible in the mountains, you need horses. It's better than tanks or whatever modern technology you have. So I'm not sure. So I'm thinking about those things.
When is the War of Gog and Magog?
So there are two.
So there's one before, at
Yes.
the end of the 7
Yes.
years and one after the 1,000 years, correct?
At the end of the 1,000 years, yes. Yes, that's what I believe, yes. The one at the end, you can see in Revelation 20, verse 4, I think, there, and maybe also Ezekiel 38. But 39 is the one before. Maybe it will happen in the Great Tribulation.
Can you give me those scriptures again? I want to write them down because I got to review. I want to look at the differences between.
Yeah.
Because there's been a discussion whether there's one, whether there's two, and.
Let me in the meantime get a bit of drink.
Okay.
Yeah. So a couple of seconds.
Okay. I've had not a lot of interaction with the War of Gog and Magog. And there is some confusion on the timing of it, when and how that's going to play out. I was just filling in the time here, Peter.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so you're looking at Ezekiel
38 and 39.
Okay.
I am not sure for myself yet, but it looks like 38 is the one in the 1,000 years at the end, and 39 is the one before the 1,000 years, maybe in the 7 years, so in the 70th week in Daniel.
Yeah, so that part. We wonder why it can be confusing, because God puts the one that's later in the first chapter, and then the one that's earlier in the second chapter. So
yeah, it's possible. I'm not 100% sure, but if you read carefully, it looks like the 38 is the later one.
Okay, and I'd like to hear comments in the chat on that too. If anybody watching this, your thoughts on that as well. Peter, for some reason, I only have 40 minutes on this, so this video is going to shut off and stop recording in about a minute.
Okay.
So let's end this video, and then I'll send you another link, and we'll get on to the next topic about the Gospels. Are there one? Are there two?
All right.
All right. So we'll end it here. Thanks, Peter. We'll be back in a second.
Good.